Hi guys, so the Fellblade main build is now finished. This is what it looks like. I'm pretty pleased with it. It's been a bit of a mammoth task, but it's been worth it. It's not quite finished. I've got a couple of things I want to complete, so it's a little bit on here that I want to fill. I've got the insides of like the las cannon to fill because they're a little bit bare. And I want to put some spikes on, I think, or maybe I might just leave the spikes, but I want to put a Havoc launcher on top up here just to give it a little bit extra firepower, because I can. So, oh, and I've got a couple of smoke launchers which I've just spotted I haven't put on. So, yeah. So about the kit. So, as I've already said, the tracks were pretty warped. A lot of work to do those. They were one of the hardest ones. The cutting out of the main plate here to put the turret ring in was pretty hefty work, but not too bad actually. I mean, what was great about it is when it was cut, it fitted perfectly, so that was an easy one. A few air bubbles, a few mismolds, nothing too bad on the rest of the kit. The track's the main one. The back is probably the nicest bit of it, and at the same time probably one of the most poor fitting, ironically. So that bit is cut from the actual back of the Baneblade and fitted onto this resin section that was sent. Now unfortunately, if I can tip this back without knocking everything off, there is quite a large gap here. I think that's just the way it's fitted together, unfortunately, which is unfortunate, but we can always get some green stuff in there to fix that. And as you can see, I've used a fair bit of super glue just to make sure it sticks together, because the Baneblade kit as a plastic kit is very complex, and as you can tell, it's a slightly older kit due to the way the instructions are, which are sometimes not too clear. But saying that, it was an enjoyable build, and tested me a little bit on a few things. The main gripe I have with the kit would be tracks and the turret. So the turret actually had another section here, but when I fitted it onto the ring, that section actually ended up lifting it at an angle off the ring, which means it wouldn't sit flat, which meant it fell off. So I literally had to saw through this bit, which doesn't look too clean, but when it's on the tank, it looks okay. So those are the gripes. Now for the pluses. So what we've got here is a very unique looking tank. I mean, it looks like a Baneblade, but at the same time it doesn't. We've really changed the silhouette of it, the shape of the turret, the size of the turret, and the overall shape of the vehicle makes it look very different. Now, there are other ways to make the kit look different, make it look like it does on Machinator 248's, it's the eBay guy I got it from, make it look extremely different. So another cannon on here, assault cannons in there, flamestorm cannons, all that kind of jazz, but I kind of like it like this. So yeah, if you're thinking of getting one, go for it. I used hobby cutters, a GW saw, a scalpel blade, and the GW thick super glue, which I've got to say, guys, is an absolute brilliant piece of hobby material, because I've used thin super glue doing Titans and stuff, and it's so difficult to do, and you knacker so much super glue. Whereas the super glue thick really showed its own in this. I think has worked really well sticking it all together. So a mixture of plastic glue thick, super glue thick. It's got it all together. As I say, a couple of extra bits to finish. I'm going to purity seal it, going to spray it after I've added those little bits. And yeah, then it's going to be painted. So sadly, I haven't got a fancy turnstile to turn it all around with, so you just have to deal with the grinding for a second as I turn it. But yeah, an enjoyable kit, guys. Tiny bit more work to do on it, building wise. Otherwise, it's done. Oh, another thing as well. If you have a look, there's quite a big gap here between turret and mount. So I'll probably green stuff that make it look like some form of armoured canvas. I'm not sure. I'm pretty knackered, guys, as you can probably tell. It's been a long day of model making, but this was the intended outcome. This is from... Oh, that's a little bit too large for the camera. So this was the intended outcome. So this is every... Let's see if we can get that focus. This is every pre-heresy player's Bible. This is the collected visions of the Horus Heresy. Some fantastic artwork, and that is a Space Marine Fellblade. So, without going over the top on green stuff and all that jazz, that's not a bad representation. So, keep your eyes peeled. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and kind of offering your support. Thank you to Voodoo Orc who put me on the direction of this kit. And yeah, you should be seeing this blowing big holes out of things in the Heresy. So yeah, thanks very much. Speak to you later. Bye bye.